Hi! Hello everyone. Oh, it has been a literal year. I don't know where the time went, but here we are, a whole year later. And I'm rusty, so just roll with it today, okay? We're all just gonna let it roll because I haven't been on camera in a year. But a year later, I finally, I feel settled in myself and I feel ready to do what is next. So if you're ready, I hope you'll join me on this new journey. Before we get into the ins and the outs of the new journey, I wanted to give you an update on this last year because I feel like that's a place we have to start. So many people have decided to part ways with Paparazzi for one reason or another. There is no wrong reason. And I feel like I think I owe it to myself. First, myself and you, my friends and followers and supporters, to give you an update of what I've been up to the last year because it has been literal radio silence and I've enjoyed that silence. Just being honest, I've enjoyed that silence. And so I, of course, have notes. I wrote some things down and it's all like stream of consciousness and it's just we're gonna flow, we're gonna talk through it. And I want to know, if you will, I want you to tell me which ones of these you have gone through because I know many people have departed Paparazzi. Tell me where you're at. And disclaimer, before we start all that, I'm not here to bash Paparazzi. I'm not. What's done is done. The past is past. I had a great time there. All right. So if you choose to say things like that, that's on you. Me, I got bigger fish. You know, as the saying goes, I got new things to do. I've got a new drive and new ideas, and I'm ready now. And so what's done is done. I want to give you a little short, it's a short list of notes, and then maybe invite you to join me on what is next. And so I titled this one year after Paparazzi. It has been the longest year, but also not that long. I can't believe it's been a year. I'm sitting back here like talking to myself like, Erica, it's been a year. Can you believe that? I can't believe that. But it has been a year. And so these were just some thoughts I wrote down today that honestly, it was a tough transition. But not in the way that I expected. It was a weird, tough transition. I thought it would be hard to stop selling. No, that was easy. That was easy. I thought it would be hard to stop growing a team. Nope, very easy. It was tough in that I had a lot of internal things in myself that I needed to work through, that I needed to uncover, that I needed to let go of. I think the hardest part for me was selling off this inventory. For months and months and months, many months, I didn't do anything with it. I mean, it's still sitting here. It's still here. Inventory. It's still here. I sold probably half of it, and I half-assed that. Oh, P.S. new channel, no paparazzi, cursing is happening because that's who I am. All right. Yeah. If you don't like it, I'll miss ya. That's who I am. But I mean, I half-assed sold about half of it. I didn't come in here. This is my office. This was my fun space. This was my safe space. I didn't come in here. Oh gosh, several months. Just shut the door and avoided it like it didn't exist. Because I didn't want to. Because I was mad. I was really upset. I was upset that it didn't work for me anymore. Upset that I put a lot of time into it and I wasn't getting back what I put in. I wasn't getting equal effort. And I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not blaming the company. I'm not blaming, there is no blame. It was just one of those where you realize you're putting more out than you're getting back, and you have to sit and like look in the mirror and be like, girl, we got to stop that, because we're dying giving so much. And that was hard to sit with, because, you know, I'm a giver, I'm a doer, I'm a worker, and all this work I'm doing, it's not coming back to me. You know, that was what it was. I have not been live in a year. And I've not recorded a video in a year. I've done some TikToks and stuff for another business, but that's it. Like, I haven't been on video in a year. And do you know how freeing that was when I was going live 5 days a week, sometimes 6 and 7, when I had to show up for a live schedule all the time? I haven't been live in a year. And I liked going live, but I don't miss it. It was great not having to go live. And I realized while I was writing these notes, I haven't been chained down to inventory. I mean, you saw it. It's still there. It's still a heavy weight on me. Just perfectly honest. It does weigh heavy on me. I don't want this in here anymore. But I haven't done anything to get rid of it. But I realized I'm not having to open new inventory. I'm not having to expect new inventory. I'm not having to categorize new inventory. I'm not having to add anything to a website. I'm not having to touch it again to show it live. I'm not having to take pictures to put on. I'm not having to be chained to inventory. Now, it's almost a hobby. Let me just call it a hobby. My creative hobby, my craft hobby. I'm making, this is a keychain, and it's a tiny little keychain, but it's so cute. I don't know if the camera will focus. And so I don't have to carry inventory of these unless I want to. I've got a little bit there, but I think that that might be 100 pieces. I don't have inventory. I'm gonna soon, when I put in the effort, I'm gonna have all this space back. I don't have to have a room just for inventory anymore. Do you know how good that feels? Also, I have like a frog. So as I get excited, it gets a little more froggy in there. What else? I wrote so many things down here. I had to grieve. Yeah, there was a time of grieving. I grieved a bit before I made the decision. I cried as I was sending my email. I sent my email to compliance, and I cried when I sent it. And the minute I saw it, like it left, the cry changed, and it changed to relief. Have you ever had that decision that you have to make so heavy on you, and then when you make it, you feel like you can breathe again, and you cry? Because women, we cry to release a lot of stress. And I cried as I was sending it, but the second it's sent, it became a relief cry. It became a release cry. Let that crap go. Cry. And then there was a grieving process, but it wasn't grieving so much the loss of business. It was grieving the loss of income, of course. But more for me, it was grieving the loss of community, of friends, of connections. It's normal. I think of it like, I don't blame the people who were part of my community who are no longer. I don't blame them for that, because I think of it in my rational brain, it's like leaving a job. When you work at one place and then you leave it, you get out of touch with your coworkers. You out of sight, out of mind, kind of thing like that. And I don't get mad over that. And so I want to encourage someone who's on that side of like, you have left or you're thinking about leaving and you're mad at the people that you're losing touch with. Stop. Consider it just like leaving a job. When you leave old coworkers, you fade away. And there's nothing wrong with that. There are some who were dear, genuine, true heart friends that I do stay in touch with. It's a conscious effort. We make the time for each other. But that's a handful of people, and that's enough. Because I don't blame my uplines. I don't blame my team. I don't blame my no, that there's not enough space in myself to blame people for losing community. But I did have to grieve and allow the sadness, because it is sad. Even good change brings sadness. I don't know if you've noticed, let me side tangent here if you're still with me. We're talking about a lot of mental health things, right? A lot of internal growth things just in this one little video here. That is your spoiler for what's to come on this place right here, okay? Wink, wink. Stick around with me for that, because we're going to talk through the techniques that I used to do all of these things that I'm talking about, okay? So in this year, I want to say to myself, like looking myself in the face in this camera right now, I am proud of me, because I took a year. I took a year to process, to feel, to heal, to still be healing some things. Some things are still that work in progress, and they probably always will be. But I'm quite proud of myself that I didn't jump into another business. I didn't jump into anger, blaming, shaming. I didn't do any of that. I basically shut my mouth. And if you know me, you know that's a big deal, because I'm quite loquacious. I'm very loud sometimes too. And I just shut my mouth, and I kind of honestly shut down, which might not have been healthy, but I did it. And I went inside and I looked in the mirror and I turned it on myself and was like, okay, let's grieve. Let's grieve the losses. Let's feel all the feelings. Sadness, madness, pissed off, frustration, how dare they, all of it. Let's just feel it. It's not going to kill you to feel it. And I took that year. So in that year, I tried on a few hats. I did. I tried working social media, like becoming a social media manager. Not for me. This is just not for me. I have a love-hate with social media, and mostly hate. So that wasn't for me. I tried my creative businesses. It's 525. And that I pushed hard for a while, and it was fun. And then I realized, oh crap, girl, you're back. You're going back into that hustle culture that you just broke out of. Like, you fought to get out of that. Get your butt. No, ma'am, sit down. And I had to me in my mirror, we had to look at ourselves and go, we're doing it again. Because that hustle culture, that 2018 hustle culture, girl, that's out. That's so far gone. And we're not going back to that. And that like strong arming, forcing it to, no, we ain't doing it. We ain't doing it. And so like I had to back up. I had to sit down. I had to determine this can be a hobby, and yeah, I can make some side money. It's a little bit here, a little bit there. I can make creative things. Like I made these. Like these are they're ornaments for my tree with my babies. I got all my little puppies in here, and I made several more that I can't show you because they're Christmas gifts. And I can do things like that, and I can make it so that my hobby buys my materials. And I was good with that because, man, I was tracking every penny. I was going, okay, I've got to do this so that I can do that. Oh, I was getting on my nerves. And so like I had to pull back and sit down and rest. Now I can do all of this because I have support. I have Solomon, and I have a more than part-time job that pays my bills. Okay, so I didn't have to jump into something else to pay my bills immediately. So I understand my privilege there, and I acknowledge that privilege, and I'm good with that. So if that's not your story, don't feel like, well, I can't do that. That's fine, boo. That's me, not you. Okay, so just calm it down. And the last thing that I did was with help. Okay, caveat. I have been in therapy since 2020, July 2020, July, one of the J's, 2020. And so I have had a lot of help and a lot of hand holding, and I have a wonderful therapist, and we'll talk about her in depth here. But with her help, we dug deep into the wounds that I carry. Everyone has wounds. I don't care what your name is or when you were born. You have a wound. You're human. All right? Don't play me on that one. And we spent this year digging and excavating and learning about and healing some. Not all. We've not gotten to all. There's still this big one that is like crushing me sometimes, but we're working on it. All of these little wounds that I have, and some are little, some are big, some are like tree branches. And so I've spent this year healing, frankly. And through that healing, it has brought me to this place where I want to put the ladder back down for those behind me. If you've known me for any length of time, you know that's my MO. That's how I do it. Anything I learn, no matter how small, how big, it doesn't matter. I turn around and I teach the one behind me. And I turn around and I teach the one behind me. And I turn around and I teach the one behind me. Now, I'm not a licensed professional. I don't think I want to be. But I am a regular, schmegular human. I put my pants on the same way you do. And if I can do a little bit, maybe a lot of it, but something to encourage, inspire, motivate, and, truth be told, help someone stay here, because mental health is that serious, I've done my job. And so that has led me in this year. I've been really just searching, just what am I doing? What is my purpose now? Because if I don't have a purpose, why the hell am I getting up in the morning? And this is truth. This is true. And there's many notes in this journal going, why, what the hell? What the? Okay. And finally, I have landed on the beginning. This is the start. This is the foundation. This is the tiny little bit. And it's going to grow, and it's going to evolve, and it's going to change. But I've got the start. And I am excited for you to be the second, Solomon knows, but the first group of people to hear about mental wealth with Erica. Your mindset and money makeover. Because our physical wealth, our money, is tied to our mental health. Now, I've said it already, and I will say it in every video, and I will make a disclaimer in the comments that I am not a mental health professional. It's something I've thought about, I'm still thinking about, because again, we're in that like transition period of my life. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm turning 40 next month, and I don't know what I'm doing. So if you got your life figured out, you just maybe go watch somebody else, because I don't have my life figured out. But I have this minute right now figured out, and that's all I'm shooting for. And I know that I can be of help, because I know I don't sugarcoat it. I don't hide behind special terms. I don't play around with this because I've been to the point where I don't want to be here anymore. And I have clawed, torn my fingernails off, clawing my way back out of that place. And if my words, my lived experience can make it so that someone on the other side of this camera goes, okay, not today. Okay, I'm going to try. I'm going to give it one more chance. That's all I can ask for. That's, man, honestly, that's more than I can ask for. And so I'm here to be of service. I'm here to be of help. And really, I'm here to be real. We'll talk about a lot. We'll get really personal on some things. If you're my family, don't watch. Straight up, don't watch. And we will grow together because I'm still in this process. I'm just a couple of feet ahead of you. So join me. I don't have anything to sell here. I don't want to do that yet. It's not off the table, but it's not on the table today. And there's a concept in Reiki where you are enough for today. We're doing enough for today. And for today, mental wealth with me is enough. Starting, laying the foundation, telling you what I've been up to the last year, giving you this much of an insight into my journey, that's enough for today. And so I invite you to join me on this. It will be videos, lots of videos, hopefully. I might do a channel membership where you get a lot more videos. I might not. You may just have to wait and see because everything is growing as it should. And I am allowing that growth. So allow it with me. Don't get your panties in a bunch when things change, when the direction shifts. It's probably going to happen. Just being honest, it's probably going to happen. So thank you for watching all of my rambling, for keeping up with me for the last year of silence, and for being there with me as we grow through this together. Leave me a comment to let me know you've watched this, to let me know maybe something you want us to explore together. That would be cool. Because if I have the experience, I'll share my experience. If I don't, I'll tell you. But if I've walked through it, you know I'm game to tell you, hey, here's what I had to do to make it out. All right? So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.